Hello and welcome to another episode of We Review Everything. I'm your host, Sin. So today we're actually going to take a look at yet another wine, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of story about junk items, along with the wine known as Blackstone Winemaker Select Red Blend California 2010. So, first off, it actually smells like wine. That's a huge change for a cheap wine that I buy from, Kroger's or Smith's. But, hey, I mean, I can't complain about that. If I actually get a good wine out of it, then who knows. What I wanted to talk to people today about was junk items. Now, in a lot of role-playing games, especially recently, you have games like Elder Scrolls, you have games like Fallout, where there are junk items everywhere. Things you don't have to pick up, but you can if you want to in order to try and sell them later. Plates, cups, just empty bottles, everything. There are items everywhere. But this isn't where it really started. Junk items have been around since D&D. And yeah, I'm sure they've been in other systems too. But the way to identify a junk item really early in the game is the GM will specifically tell you how much it's worth. For instance, you pick up an emerald, and the GM will tell you, oh, well, you picked up a green emerald, and it's worth 300 gold. Because he's not expecting you to write down green emerald, 300 gold. He's just expecting you to write down 300 gold in your thing because you're going to cash it out as soon as you get back to town anyway, right? But what if there was something more that you could do with junk items than just sell them? That's the experiment that I pulled with Lasarn, most recently in one of my RPs. I'll give you some backstory on that one. He had killed this elderly woman who was either evil possessed or just evil by her own power, trying to resurrect this great ancient god force, take over the world, blah. And so one of the items on her was and I have my notes. I have my notes because there's a lot of items that I actually picked up from her. And I only want to tell you about the important ones that are relevant. A Frost Rapier +2, Angel Tears, Diamond Dust worth 300 gold, an Unholy Symbol worth 500 gold, and a Black Sapphire worth 100 gold. See? Black Sapphire, Blackstone. See what I did there? Huh? I'm clever, damn it. So, and actually I talked to one of my other RP buddies. He's like, well, if you have Tears of a Pure Creature, a Black Stone, and an Unholy Symbol, that's a summoning ritual. And she already summoned the, what's it called, Headless Stone Skin guy, and we killed him too, but whatever. The point is that I had these items. I picked them up off of her, and what am I going to do with them? Am I going to sell them? I still have no idea what the Angel Tears were really for, but I used them. So here's what I did was, I took the Diamond Dust and I took the Rapier to the blacksmith, used the Diamond Dust to have him reforge the blade with the Diamond Dust in it to strengthen the blade. Then I had the blade cooled in the Angel Tears and had the guard of the Rapier replaced with the Unholy Symbol. So And then, of course, I had the Blackstone augmented, to where it was I spent 6,000 gold to have it augmented to a life-drinking stone. And augment right on the bottom of the pommel. But this weapon, my GM stopped me. He's like, "Why are we making an evil weapon?" And I'm like, "Experiments! What else am I going to do with them?" So yeah, now Lasarn has the most evil weapon on the face of the planet, and you know, his cleric is slowly hating him more and more every day. But yeah, keep your junk items. You never know when these things will actually come in handy. They can be important. They can have uses. You know, be clever about it. Don't just sell off something because the GM tells you how much it's worth. Think, well, what can I do with the actual item? Because if it can be useful, then it should be useful, right? So, now back to the wine. Now, it's a short story. I apologize if you were expecting a little bit more from it, but, you know, there wasn't so much to that because I didn't have to go through a huge amount of backstory. But yeah, so Blackstone Winer Select. Oh, goodness. It hits you like, a punch in the face, but, you know, it's not so bad when you get past that first swallow. It kind of warms up to you pretty quick. Ugh. Yeah, each swallow is terrible, but the aftertaste is actually okay. So yeah, I mean, the wine is bad at first, but the aftertaste is all right. I mean, I actually cannot not recommend this wine. It's not bad. You know, because I mean, if you're drinking wine, you're expecting it to be terrible. So, right? I mean, it's certainly not a Moscato or anything, which I don't review on my show. Because I try to only review dark wines. Because, you know, I'm stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's actually not bad. Let's see what else we got information on here. Let's see. Blackstone, Winemaker Select, California Red Wine. Our Blackstone red wine is produced from vineyards located throughout California's greatest grape growing regions. After harvest, yeah, it's boring. Yeah, so short review, not suffering from the wine much. We'll see how many views I actually get on this one. Figured you people only ever want to see me suffering because you're a bunch of sick bastards. But yeah, Lasarn happens to be this collector of all forms of items. So if he thinks he can have use for it later, he'll just collect it and throw it in his armory. I'm still not sure if Lasarn is secretly from the future or not, because he likes to make all those relevant future jokes. He got a plane. He found a pod that was, you know, is bigger on the inside than it was on the outside, and so he immediately started calling it the TARDIS. And well, it didn't travel time. Well, it's a planescape pod, so whatever. But it was terribly damaged and all that. And it had a machine that was capable of making anything. So, you know, what's Lasarn going to do? He makes stuff with it sometimes, if he actually wants to. And that was back when he actually had a real party, but he had a mage that owned the library and the TARDIS and just a whole bunch of cool little stuff. Now the thing is functioning again, so he had it take the shape of the airship from Final Fantasy VI. You know, the yacht. You know, he calls it because it's a planescape ship, so it travels through dimensions and stuff. He calls it the DeLorean. I mean, he comes off as being just completely batshit crazy, but the reality is that he's actually some kind of freaking super genius. Because, you know, he acts this way so that way people will never see him as being a threat. When in reality, I did his math, at level 13, he throw one round of attacks for him is at minimum 75 points of damage, at maximum 80, and he attacks twice per round. Let me get his character sheet if I can find it here. That's Knives. Talk about Knives some other time. He's another character altogether. His minimal crit, if he gets a critical hit, is 225 points of damage. And his maximum is 240. So, yeah. And that's just throwing knives. Nothing else. Only throwing knives. So, that's how blah 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 amazing he is. It doesn't get easier to drink. Every swallow of this is like... I don't even know how to describe it. Every swallow of this is a terrible, terrible experience. You instantly think, why am I doing this? And then as soon as it's gone, the sweetness takes over and it's like, oh, that's not so bad. I actually enjoyed that for no reason at all. That glass is gone. So, thank you for watching We Review Everything. We'll see you next time.